In 2008, a woman named Marion Thayer started to look at exactly why those meetings where 8 people attended, 10 people attended, and they all walked out with a different understanding of what was being said. She wanted to look into why that was happening, because her belief was this idea that people were listening to and for different kinds of information. And in her research, she found that there were approximately 4 ways that people listened. And so she started working with a neuroscientist, a psychometrician who builds assessments, and other professionals in the leadership development world. And what she came up with was these 4. We worked together for 2 years, and then after that, she decided to retire, and we've continued the work here at Echo for approximately 5 years since then. And in that time, we went from a full leadership company of teaching communication to now focusing on listening, focusing on the research and the development of looking at listening from a different view. So, what we know and what you have in your hand is that there are 4 ways that people listen. We call them connective, reflective, analytical, and conceptual. And so what I'd love to do with you today is share a little deeper description of each of them and have you self-assess what kind of a listener you are, so you can walk out with your own listening profile today. So I'm going to start to talk about connective. We call connective listening external listening, because individuals that have high connective listening listen externally to what information means to others. So reflective listening, in some ways, is almost the opposite of connective listening. In reflective listening, you listen for what is important to you as a person. It's an internal type of listening. One thing I will say is that we find individuals can have 1 dominant type of listening habit, they can have 2, there might be more than 1 that you're seeing, wow, I'm checking a lot of things here. That's very common. Analytical listening. So analytical listening is when we listen for the facts, the spreadsheet conversations, the timelines, the resources available. So I'm going to move on to our last type of listening, which is conceptual listening. So conceptual listening listens for possibility, big ideas, much less about the facts, more about what we might do together. So what I'd like you to do, because it's so quiet in here that's driving me crazy, is to turn to the person next to you and share what kind of a listener you are and how it surprised you.
You're this. This one didn't line up with the colors I was thinking. It feels like the person I'm speaking to is always to some degree.
So I'm going to pull you guys back into the front of the room for a moment. The thing that's interesting about listening is we use it every day in every part of our lives. Most times we do it without thinking about it, and for the majority of us, because we've not been taught, we talk about being like a good or bad listener. And you know what we say? We don't care whether you're a good or bad listener. We want you to start to observe the way you listen so that you can shift it to be valuable in your life, in your situations, because no one else can help you with your listening. I guess I just want to leave you with this idea that listening intelligence, which is what we're teaching, not good or bad listening, listening intelligence, understanding how you listen, can change corporate cultures if only we could get them to listen.